I put this in this on my balls for 14 days and I won't stop. At least for now. This is something I would have never expected to actually have an impact on me. But I can tell you, after icing my balls for 2 weeks, I'm actually surprised in a positive way. But why? Why did I even do this? And what did it actually do to me? What happened? Was it worth it? And is there some actual science behind it too? That is what I'm gonna tell you in this video. Now, if you're looking for natural ways to boost your testosterone, maybe because you want more energy, more confidence, more muscle mass, or simply just more morning woods, then icing your balls is something that actually has to be on your radar, especially for that last benefit. This is not a meme and it's actually legit. By the way, parents, if you're watching, or any family member, maybe just stop now, honestly. But there's actually some proper scientific evidence which says that your balls should be cooler than the rest of your body, and actually bringing that temperature down can improve semen quality and testosterone production.
Let's go!
Now that data and research is very limited, but I thought I'm gonna add to the conversation and share my own experience, a few studies and some anecdotal evidence. Not just from me. So first, let's just talk about my experience. Because honestly, probably like you, when I first heard about this, I thought this has to be bullshit. Like, no way I'm gonna sit there, put this thing into a towel, put it on my balls and actually expect something happening. No way. Yeah. I probably heard about this maybe 2 years ago for the first time. And of course, I ignored it. There wasn't enough evidence behind it, or maybe no evidence at all, besides maybe a few guys saying that it worked for them. And honestly, I just couldn't believe it would actually do something. So I ignored it, went on with my life, some time passed, and recently I heard about it again. And a few weeks ago I decided to put more effort into maximizing my testosterone. My health and energy are already pretty good, but I wanted to improve my testosterone more. And so I did some research and stumbled over this idea of icing your balls again.
Here we go again.
And when you're really committed to achieving something, you're gonna try some things you aren't fully convinced of yet. So I just thought, yeah, whatever, man. I want to start this testosterone maxing journey. I want to increase my testosterone even more. So yeah, let's just do it. Whatever. And now, after more than 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks by now, I can honestly tell you I'm really positively surprised. Like I said, I did not believe this would do anything. At best, it would do some placebo thing and I would think, oh yeah, I'm cooling my balls, so I will have more testosterone. But until I test my testosterone levels, I won't know if that actually did something. But I started, and day one, I started cooling my balls and I didn't expect to feel anything, at least for the first 5 to 7 days. But funnily enough, the next morning I woke up with a boner. Again, family or my boss maybe just click off now. And of course, that isn't extremely special. Like, morning wood is normal and I do have that too, even when I don't cool my balls. But I'm gonna be very honest with you here and tell you that I was a little bit concerned. Because in peak puberty, I probably always woke up with a boner. I don't remember, but I think so. But for the last few years, that was just not the case. Now, that didn't really concern me because it's actually very normal that you don't have morning wood every time you wake up. But I was just thinking to myself, it would be nicer to have this more often. You as a guy can probably relate that it just feels good. It feels good to wake up with a boner. It's a bit annoying, but it makes you feel healthy, energetic, vital. Like, you feel good. Your body functions.
Nice.
But before cooling my balls, I didn't have morning woods that often. But, and this is why I'm talking about this here, since day one, like literally after the first night after cooling my balls, every time I did it in the evening, and I will tell you in a few minutes how to actually do it, but every morning I woke up with a boner. I'm not over exaggerating, I'm not lying, this is true. And the very, very interesting thing is, when I forgot it in the evening, or I purposely didn't do it, which I did just the last 2 days, I did not wake up with a boner. I know for a fact that I have a boner during the night. And sorry, I won't go more into detail now. I think that's enough about this topic. But I didn't woke up with morning wood. But every time I cooled my balls, I did. And I think that's probably a very good sign, isn't it? Another thing I noticed after just 3 to 5 days is that I had a lot more energy and motivation in the gym. Although, take this with a grain of salt, because I will say this is very variable for me. Like some days I just really don't want to, and then I lack the motivation, of course. And sometimes I'm really hyped up and I just want to go for it. And of course then I will have much more energy and motivation in the gym. And on top of that, I think all of the first 3 to 4 times when I had that energy boost, I didn't only cool my balls, but I also had caffeine just before the gym. I think it was always an energy drink. I know, not the healthiest, but I love energy drinks and I'm fine with it. So let me deal with that problem. So I had that boost of energy, but it could very easily just be randomly or just placebo or because of the energy drink. So don't value this too highly. Because also for 2 out of the last 3 times, I didn't really feel that boost of energy and motivation, and it was actually a bit worse. But again, that probably had some other reasons too. It's just very hard to generalize this, and you can't really isolate the effect of just cooling your balls. But those were really the 2 most important things. 2 other things to consider are that my dreams felt more vivid and I remembered them more than usually, which I think actually might be because of cooling my balls, but it might also be placebo, and this is also pretty variable. So again, this could be a symptom of cooling my balls, but it could also be by random chance. And the last thing, the thing many of you probably care about, is actually my libido. I will say it potentially went up a little bit. But as for the other things, besides the morning wood, because that was very obvious, I'm not really sure how much it really changed. It didn't change like crazy. It changes crazy when you take maca. So if you struggle with libido, just take maca. But I think I felt a slight increasement. I don't know. But then why does this even work? Or why can this work? Let's look at some of the science. And to keep this very simple, let's just start with the fact that your balls, your testicles are the only organs that are outside of your body. Like everything that's valuable is inside your body, protected. But your balls, they hang outside. And why is that? Why do you think that is? Maybe you know this already, but that is mainly because your balls should be a bit cooler. They should be about 1 to 1.5 degrees below your body temperature. And this is not some bro science. The official recommendation for men who want kids is to not shower too hot, to not go to the sauna, but actually keep their testicles cool, because that helps producing testosterone. But for the sake of getting kids, it just really improves semen quality. And there are actual studies on this. And partly because of that, researchers have been icing balls since decades, even though the data on this is still pretty limited. For example, a study from 1954 demonstrated an improvement of semen quality in 3 infertile men by the means of cold sponging of the scrotum twice daily and the avoidance of tight-fitting underwear. Or a 984 study showed significant increases of sperm density after they put cold packs on their balls on a nightly basis. And there's also a 2005 study that found a significant boost in sperm concentration and sperm count after the subjects underwent an 8-week nocturnal cooling program. So it really seems like it can improve semen quality. Testosterone, unfortunately, there is less evidence or data behind it. But some anecdotal experiences of guys increasing their free testosterone by up to 20%, mainly by cooling their balls, does really exist.
So I wanted to start by sharing my own blood test result after icing my own balls for about 12 weeks.
But honestly, I don't know. Always take those anecdotal experiences with a little grain of salt. But even then, personally, I think even those anecdotal experiences can be reason enough to just try it out yourself. If it works for someone, it might work for you as well. Why not give it a try? It's not like you're gonna freeze your balls and they will fall off. At least, I hope so. Didn't happen for me. But how do you actually do it? What was my routine and how did I cool my balls for those last 2 weeks? It's very simple. The main focus should be to cool your balls for about 10 to 20 minutes maybe. I think at least 10 minutes every night just before you go to bed. Or rather, before you go to sleep. So what I did in the evening, when I would be in bed anyway, and I would just read a book, instead of just lying there reading a book, I grab the ice pack, put it on my balls, and then read the book. And then when I'm tired from reading, and not seeing blue light by the way, take the ice pack, put it back in the freezer, and go to sleep. And then wake up with a rock hard boner. Simple as that. If you want to level it up a bit, of course feel free to do it multiple times a day. Me, for example, I did about 3 times 15 minutes on average for the first 4 to 8 days. I don't remember exactly, but for the first days I did it in the morning, throughout the day and in the evening. But then as I progressed, I realized just doing it before bed was probably enough. Maybe I'm losing out on some testosterone gains, but I mean, yeah, whatever. It's kind of annoying to always get out the ice and put it on your balls. And just in the evening, when I'm reading anyways, that's pretty simple and realistic to actually build a habit around that. And it made sure I have a boner the next morning. Then also what you want to do is put it in a towel. Your towel should probably not be too thick. I think this is good. Like, let me show you. This is very thin. Because of course, if it is too thick, it won't even cool your balls. But generally, it's not recommended to put that directly on your balls. That's too cold then. So put something in between. I just wrap it once and then you know the rest, right?
Okay.
So overall, for me, I was a bit positively surprised, especially about the impact on my morning woods. But I'm still not fully convinced or fully sold yet, because of the lack of data behind it, because I didn't really experience anything significant besides the morning woods, and of course because I've only been doing it for about 2 weeks. That said, it literally guarantees waking up with morning wood for me. Like, I did not fail once when I did it in the evening, when I did it just before sleep. So I will actually continue doing that. I will continue and do it for about maybe 2 months, maybe a bit less, and then see if it has any other impact. If I feel more energetic, if I feel more drive, more confidence, competitiveness, more libido, things that are usually associated with high testosterone. I will also get a testosterone blood test very soon. But I don't think I will continue it forever if it's just for the morning wood. Maybe sometimes when I remember, but I won't really care if I forget it. Still, I will continue this for a few more weeks and then I'm gonna reevaluate and either continue doing it or just ignore it and forget about it. With all that being said, I think you should try it out yourself as well. Just try it for 7 days. It's pretty simple. And then let me know if it does the same thing for you. I really didn't expect it. So if it does the same thing for you, that's actually pretty interesting to know. But then that's all I wanted to talk about today. I will make more videos on testosterone maxing. So if you want to see them, subscribe. But of course, that's up to you. Have a great day. Eat your eggs and bye.